Okay, guys. As far as injuries, we were just walked through today, but DNP would have been Rob Havenstein, and then Jordan Whittington will be limited. Still working through the specifics of how we're going to approach it. What I can tell you guys is Jimmy Garoppolo will start at quarterback this week. That'll give Matthew a chance to be able to get some rest. Other than that, that's kind of really all that I have as it relates to just the approach this week. I think, Adam, what I've seen is just a guy that's approached it like a pro. Been a great teammate. You can see just the respect, the reverence that he has for Matthew, and really for each other that they have, for one another. And it's a really cool quarterback room. Dave Ragone does such a great job. It's been cool to watch both those guys pour into Stetson as he's continuing to learn. Cooper and Puka end up in there a lot. But I've just seen a guy that has been so consistent. He's got a great way about himself. He's used all the practice reps that he's accumulated to get better. I think he's really been a big part of the growth that you've seen from our defense throughout the course of the year. It's hard to be able to get some of the looks that he's able to mimic and emulate when he's simulating the opposing quarterback. He really challenges our guys on the back end, and then he's got a good rapport with the guys that he's playing with on the look team, and I think those guys have gotten better as a result of his leadership. Yes, he will be. Yeah, Stetson will be.
Will Matthew be active at all?
No, he won't be. It's just, you're always balancing. I think the first thing is you have to take into account, this isn't like the preseason. You've got a 53-man roster. You have the ability to flex 2 guys up. You got 5 inactive. So you're talking about, all right, injuries usually make, a lot of some of the decisions a little bit easier. But I'm always trying to make decisions that I think are best for our football team. And it might not be best for everybody else, but if you said risk reward, I think it's a great opportunity for Jimmy to be able to play. I think it's also an awesome opportunity for Matthew to be able to get, rested, rejuvenated, and ready to roll for the playoffs. He's accumulated so much experience, and I think that's the important thing. While also saying this is an important game for us. We want to go compete to the best of our ability. Don't minimize that, but ultimately you're just kind of weighing the pros and cons and tilted in those scales. And those are things that we've kind of done when we've been in similar situations. And what I do acknowledge is that while it might not be for everybody, you try to have a thought process in regards to why you make these decisions. You use other people that you really value their input, and then you're able to articulate that with an open, honest dialogue with our players. And they've always been so great about how we handle it.
You guys give Rob another week off?
Rob will be, yeah. He'll be a guy that, just because of his injury status, that kind of sorts itself out. The good thing is I would, everything is tilting towards he'll be ready to go for that playoff game.
At what point in the week will you know about some of your other starters?
I think we're working towards that right now. Today allowed us to be able to take a little bit different approach. I think we kind of have an inclination, but what I don't want to do is put the cart before the horse.
Given Matthew's contract situation, is kind of what happened before the season going through. Is this something? Could this be something of like an audition for Jimmy in terms of Matthew for some reason it's not like the Rams?
No, I look at it as a great opportunity for Jimmy. I think one of the best things is this group's been totally and completely present, focusing on, hey, what can we do in this day? Look at it as an opportunity that it's great for Jimmy to be able to go play this Sunday, and that's kind of really how I look at it. So here's what we get. We get a couple extra spots. We still have that one that's left from the regular season, which does carry over into the playoffs. And so the unique thing is you might have those spots, but then you also have to free it up, by releasing somebody. And so there won't be any imminent moves for this week. As far as next week's concerned, that's something that we want to be intentional about. All right, let's get through the Seattle game. Hopefully that doesn't naturally sort itself out based on any injuries that occur, Adam, but that is a possibility. But being able to get those 2 additional spots is a good thing, and I'll have, as soon as when we connect after that game on Wednesday or whenever that is, or Monday, then I'll have an idea, because that's going to be the first priorities, just for clarity for those guys. And sometimes those things don't necessarily sort themselves out until you have the appropriate information, which would be getting through this game. No. I think there's a difference, Gary, if you're talking about you're playing for a bye. There's been games, you look at the 18 game when we're playing the Niners at the end. Well, we looked at that as, all right, well, you automatically advance to the divisional round. That's a little bit different. Fortunately for us, and it was different last year because we had a wild card that seed could end up fluctuating. Here you're talking about either the 3 or the 4 seed. And to us, I think that, you could sit here and try to play all these different things. We got to be ready to go, and somebody's coming in here that's going to be an excellent team that earned an opportunity to be in the postseason. And if you want to do what you're going to do, you can't necessarily duck anybody, and you always have to weigh that risk reward of, all right, hey, we want to continue to make sure that all these games are important. There's maybe some flexibility that you have based on your injury situation. But while we want to finish the season strong, I think it does provide possibly the opportunity for guys to get some reps that they wouldn't otherwise get, and then guys that have had a bunch of wear and tear on their bodies to get fresh where it actually acts as a bye, if you will. And like I said, whether it be the right or wrong approach, I'll always do what we think is best, and certainly it's a collaborative effort in terms of making those decisions. But ultimately, if you said, does the 3 or the 4 seed, really matter? It doesn't, because I know that you're going to play an excellent team, whoever ends up as the 5, 6, or 7 of the teams that could be in that spot.
Couple more, guys.
Oh, I'm coaching, yeah. I'm coaching in this game, yeah. We'll work through that. I do think, there's like last year, Mike did a great job for Carson, and so that might be the approach that we'll take this week.
What, with the injured reserve math that you guys have done all year, what has that been like just for you guys as an organization managing and sort of like looking at the present?
Yeah, it's it was really unique at the beginning parts of the year, and then you really end up saying, it's been good because we've been relatively healthy as of late. But in the very beginning, it was like, you're putting together a puzzle every single week, and it was very unique. But right now, it's kind of like you look at it, especially when you talk about 2 guys like Troy Reeder and John Johnson, who are starting caliber players that have been major contributors, and you got that one spot. You didn't necessarily want to make a decision yet because we hadn't had an injury at that spot. And so that's been a fortunate thing, but that's why there's been a delay, because you could make a case why both those guys are so important. But it's been unique, and I would say it's been a positive thing that there hasn't had to be as much moving around, if you will, as of late. I think just the short punt accuracy, and it's consistency overall, and his body of work, maybe not squatting as much. He's got a little bit more touch on these punts. No, I was joking with him about that earlier, but I think overall, I just think it's the consistency at which he's hitting the ball, understanding the intent. I think he's done an excellent job in kickoffs, done an excellent job as a holder as well. That's one of the things that people don't realize. Everybody just looks at the kicker, but it's snap, hold, kick. Those things are so key and critical. I think he's gotten I think he's done a tremendous job improving as a holder. He's obviously a valuable weapon based on the approach that we typically take to kick touchbacks. And then as a punter, I just think the consistent accuracy, particularly on the short field punts, you look at the one where he ends up pinning it deep on the first punt last week where X does a great job fielding it, and then another one where X ends up making a tackle deep in territory. But he's given guys a chance to be able to get down there. I've been really pleased with Ethan. He's done an excellent job.
What's Jimmy Garoppolo's seen behind the scenes, and what have you seen?
I just think the leadership, I think there's, he's got just such a natural zest for, approaching every single day. And when you've got that kind of authentic enthusiasm, it becomes contagious. You see why guys at other spots have loved him. He's just got a good way about himself. And for a guy that's had as much success as he has a great amount of authentic humility too. Very coachable, loves going out here to compete. And like I said, he's been a joy to be around, and he's an easy guy to want to see, just go be yourself. He's had a lot of success, and want to go see, guys play well around him, and him, be able to enjoy the opportunity to do what he loves, and that's go play and compete. Okay? Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Excited?
Oh, yeah. Been a long time coming.
When did Sean tell you?
Just found out the other day, a couple days ago. Kind of had a feeling as I was watching the games this past Sunday, but yeah, it's exciting. About time, just get out there with the guys and get some real football in.
What do you think you learn the most when you're on the sideline, especially with this new team this year? What do you sort of learn the most about just the way the Rams play?
Well, it's just day in and day out. There's a lot of brain power that goes on in that QB room. Whether it's Sean, Mike coming in, Rags, we got a lot of coaches in there. And even learn from Matt. Just it's impressive, honestly. It's a very tight run outfit. Just how they do everything. Little details aren't overlooked. That's something that I really was impressed by early on, and it's carried out this whole season. So I think that's how you get to a place like this, though. And you hear a lot of this in the last week of the season to play some other guys, and yeah, it's good for us.
The two, with Inactives specifically, he's kind of had a hand in developing that role over time in terms of what your workload is in the course of the week. And it's not insignificant, but some of the things that you also are taking on in terms of the studies and all of that. Has that, I guess, being in that role or sitting back and looking at it from that lens, has that maybe showed you some things that maybe you hadn't seen previously, or have you sort of studied differently or anything like that?
Well, it gives you a chance to see the defense differently. I mean, when you're in there playing, you got to do what you got to do to get the play run right, to find a completion, whatever it is. But, being the two, you get a different, just different view through a different pair of lenses on the sideline. You get to see things. You're not getting hit. So it's there's some new differences there. But it's been good for me. Staff's been awesome. He very open with telling you what he's seeing, what he did on this play, which is that's rare in this league. So that was really cool to see.
Beyond your experience,
Mm-hmm. Like I was saying before, they look at the game a little differently. I mean, each offense is different how you see the defense. But these guys, Sean does a really good job of explaining it in detail too. He'll take the time to slow things down. If you don't understand it, he'll explain it to you in a way that you do, which as a teacher, that's really impressive. Haven't had many coaches that do that. So to take the time to do little things like that, I'm really grateful for. But yeah, it's just a lot of good people, man. That's what makes this thing go, is a lot of good people in the right positions.
you said it's been a long while coming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this as kind of an audition for the Rams if something happens with Stafford and he's not back, or just if you're back on the open market?
Yeah, I think anytime you get on the grass in live action, that's your resume. I mean, that's the life we live. It's just what you do out there. Everyone sees around the league. They're going to break that tape down, good, bad, or indifferent, and they don't really care who's playing, what week it is, whatever it is. That's your resume. So that's how I've always approached it. It'll be no different this week.
Last year, Mike advocating for Carson. If you don't mind refreshing my memory, you worked with Mike in San Fran.
Yeah.
What was it like working with him and collaborating with him on playing?
Mike's been cool, man. He, yeah, we go way back since my first time at the Niners. He was one of the guys who kind of taught me that offense, teaching me this offense. He's just good people, great people, man. He, really grateful for him. I'm excited to get out there Sunday with him and get in this action.
How would you describe your experience with this team this season? Beyond some of those teaching opportunities that you already talked about, how else does it value this thing?
I think just different role. I haven't been in this role since my Patriot days, so it was definitely a little different. But I mean, doing scout team, there's a part of scout team that I really enjoy. You get to study the other quarterback, what he does. You get to see how he uses cadences, how he uses motions, different things like that. And I always think that you could find something in everyone's game and apply it to your own. So that's really what I've tried to do this year, running the scout team. And it's done some good for me. So just got to go out there on Sunday and show it.
Do you think it'll be you've done this a lot, but do you think it'll be seamless once you're out there, or do you think that you need to take that first hit or whatever?
It's never seamless. I wish it was. It's never seamless. If it was, everyone would do it. But that's what makes this game great, man. I mean, there's going to be some adversity at some point, just being realistic about it. And I like the crew that we're rolling out there with, though. Some good guys who've been in the fire for a little while now, and we'll respond to it correctly.
You ready for that first hit?
Oh, yeah, it's been a while, so I had my brother hit me this weekend or something just to set me up. No, we'll be ready.
Jimmy,
What's the challenge against the linebacker, Ernest Jones, who's this offense?
It's tough. We saw that last time we played him. Did a couple things that he kind of knew our offense. We knew that they knew that, but that is what it is. I mean, this league, bodies get bounced around so frequently from team to team that you kind of know plays that are coming. But you just got to find a way to get around that and make the play work, I guess.
Jimmy, having some of the injuries that you've had, obviously your career arc has not maybe been as predicted, like being here now, but was it good maybe for you to have some time off to physically kind of just get all the way back, or was it just waiting?
No, it was a blessing in disguise, and I figured that out after the foot surgery. Getting your foot repaired is a lot different than all the other injuries I've had. So that one, it took a little while to get past that, but honestly, since about OTAs, I haven't thought about it, honestly. Maybe training camp, but yeah, that's a really nice feeling, not thinking about not feeling the pain in your certain spots, but yeah, I'm glad to be back to normal.
How did you kind of mentally prepare, for this season, knowing you weren't going to start, as a quarterback?
Well, it was a new offense, so that that made it difficult in its own way. So it still had to study, just maybe if not more than usual, just to you're trying to pick up. This is an offense that Matt and Sean have done for a long time together, so there's a lot of layers to it. So even when I thought I knew it in training camp, season comes and now you're game planning. There's a whole new layer of offense that you learn. So it's been a constant process of just picking things up, little details, nuances here and there. But I feel like I'm in a decent spot, and I just got to go apply it on Sunday now.
There are a lot of similarities between this offense and the one that you ran in San Francisco, and so how does that help you, transition into this offense?
I mean, this offense is getting pretty popular around the league now. A lot of teams are starting to run it and have a lot of success with it. So the concepts are pretty similar. Formations and motions, there's some nuances. The language is the real hard thing. You got to forget one language and learn a new language. So that takes some time in OTAs, but that's what the off season's for. All good? All right. Thanks, guys.